Hello everyone, we hope you're all doing very well. So we're continuing looking at vessels, Navy vessels in DCS, the ones that we can control in Combined Arms. We're next on to what I thought was going to be a boring one. I've always considered this not much of a threat, not particularly good, and that was when I was ignorant about ships. Now I understand a little bit more about ships. I actually know it's actually really cool and really exciting. So it is the Molniya. And it's a subclass of the Tarantul class Corvette. So Corvette meaning the size of the vessel, Corvette, frigate, destroyer, cruiser, battle cruiser. So what we're going to say is we're looking at the Tarantul class Corvette, which there were many hulls laid down. And if we look through the different variants, we go to the bottom, it goes to Tarantul 3, and the modification of a Tarantul 3 is our guy here, the Molniya subclass. The Tarantul, just so you know, started being produced, laid down in 1979, and the Molniya subclass was, when it was laid down, the first one was laid down in 1989 and was still in service. So now we're going to jump to, because there's so many different variants here and they're all so different, we're going to jump to what Daesh has put together for our specific Molniya. Thank you very much for doing this, Daichi. I should say we've got Daichi and Onslaught with us today, so hello boys.
Yeah. Hello.
So the Molniya, or the subclass of the upgraded Tarantul 3, it's a guided missile corvette boat, our ship, and it looks friggin' awesome like that, nice and small. So this is specific info. It is a missile corvette boat corvette project 12241. We're not actually certain about that number. DCS and Wikipedia seem to disagree with each other there, so take that with a pinch of salt. It's a Molniya Tarantul Class 3 subvariant, made in Shredny Nevis. I'll just mangle this as usual. Nevsky Shipyard, number 212. And we have R109, pennant number 952. So our particular hull was laid down in 1989 and commissioned 1990, so it's a quick build and it's still in service. We have the one Russian vessel, or one Russian hull. We have 8 Vietnamese Russian hulls and 2 times orders for Indian Russian hulls. As far as I'm aware, all of these are still in service, stand to be corrected. General characteristics of the Molniya class. Displacement is a standard 4636 metric tons and full just under 500 metric tons. A length of 56.1 meters, a beam of 10.2 meters, and a draft of 2.5 meters. A speed of an amazingly quick 41 knots. I think that's the fastest ship we've seen. Generally, what we've seen is the smaller, generally the faster. And this has got a lot of horsepower for not much boat. And it is because it is lightning fast. Molniya in English means lightning, of course. It's relevant to the speed. It has the ability to charge out quickly to be useful on the battlefield. It has a range of 1600 nautical miles at cruise 14 knots and a complement of 40 crew. On to the engineering, we have 2 times 16,000 horsepower Mike 15As, which are gas, no gas, mixed gas turbine engines. And for cruise, we have our 4,000 horsepower Mike 510 diesel and 12,000 horsepower gas turbine. We have 2 times fixed pitch propellers. We have 2 times 200 kilowatt diesel generators and 1 100 kilowatt diesel generator. On to the electronics. We have first of all a 34K1, a monolith radar suite, NATO reporting name Bandstand. This is, it's a suite because it's a series of interconnecting radars. We have 0.7 to 130 kilometer. It's going to be about 70 to 80 miles in the X band. This consists of before we go into that, actually also a 0.7 to 185 kilometer in the C band. Consists of do you want to go through what it consists of, Daichi? You understand that a bit better than me.
It consists of a slew of different radars. One of them's like a phase array scan. One of them's a 2D scan. One of them comes from the SU-25. The others I wasn't able to find good detail on, but it's just a mixture of all different systems.
Roger. It consists of the MOST, the MAC, the massive, and the MR144 for the guided missiles. Next is the DON, the Don, which is 0.4 to 46 kilometers. This is navigation and surface search. Next, we've got the Vimpel R2 ECM electronic countermeasures suite, which is active jamming, ELINT, so radar data collection, ECM, and that would be also passive, and decoy control. Do you want to just go over, I think we all know active jamming, ELINT, ECM, but decoy control, do you want to go over that a little, Daishi?
How it works is that this suite connects into a console on the ship, and that console controls the PK-16 decoy launcher. So they'll get the data and they'll figure out what you want to launch out for it.
Right, and I guess they're very interconnected as well. The one thing I don't see here is an RWR type system. Do we know if we've got that or if we just don't have it? Oh, I guess that's kind of ELINT, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah, I should have typed it in there. I missed that.
Roger. So we've got RWR interconnected in there. We'll probably have some little sensors around there somewhere we may or may not spot on the model. Okay. Next, we've got the MP405 Winefast. Is that the RWR?
Nope, that's part of the Vimpel. I left space there in case we find another antenna connected to it.
Roger. Okay. Yeah, it's the difficult thing about this. The systems are often connected and into each other, so it's. Roger. Next we have an MR123-1 Vimpel A base tilt, which we've had in a couple of ships now, of a range of 0 to 9.3 kilometers, and it is the fire control for the AK-176 main gun and the AK-2, I think it's 2 times AK-630 mics, which are the not chain guns, what are they called? The Gatling guns, the GAW-8 equivalent. CIWS, there we go. We've also got a Papa Kilo 16 decoy launcher, 16 tube launcher for chaff and flare. See notes. What's the notes about that, Daishi?
I figured out exactly which ones they put into these launchers. You go down there, there's the A3 CP50, which is just your typical chaff, and then the A3 CO50, which is, it releases a cloud that's supposed to mess with IR and laser.
Okay.
And you got the A3 COM50, which is a bit newer, also releases a cloud. And then you got A3 SK50, which is a combination of radar and IR.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the CM350, which is a mod of the COM50, which is a masking curtain. I wasn't able to find too much about, but I'm assuming it releases a cloud sort of like the CO50.
Roger. And those numbers at the end of the dates they were introduced?
Correct.
Interesting. Good work. Okay. Decoy launcher. Roger. Next, we've got the armament, everyone's favourite bit. We've got 2x2 KT-152 launchers firing the SSN-22 Sunburn guided anti-ship missile. It's anti-ship, not anti-submarine, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. A range of 20 to 250 kilometres, so... why is it 120 to 250? Does that mean 120 miles, or has it got a minimum range? It doesn't sound likely, does it?
From what I could tell, it seems like it might have a minimum range, or it might be that its maximum range ranges between those two numbers depending on which variant you're using.
Roger, that makes a bit more sense. It is an anti-ship ski skimming missile. Okay, I don't think we've seen a Sunburn yet, so I look forward to launching that. Okay, that's cool.
Actually, it's kind of based off of there's like an anti-ship missile on the Frogfoot. I don't remember what it is, but I think it's sort of based off of that a little.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll recognise it. Right, and that is, if we go back to the thing, that's these big launchers here. Obviously, it's what it's what the ship is based on, as such. Next, we've got air defence, or one form of air defence. We've got 1x4 MTU-4 AUS. This can fire either the Strela Mike 3 missiles or the Igla-1 missiles. These are both self-guided infrared seeking missiles. Reporting names: the SSN-A8 Gremlin or the SSN-10 Grouse. We've got 4.1 and 5.2 kilometres respectively. 16 missiles total for either. Next, we've got the main radar control gun, 1x1 AK-176 Mike, 10 kilometers effective range, 15.5 maximum, 152 round belts, 3414 total, consisting of high explosive frag or high explosive anti-air. Do we know the difference between high explosive frag and anti-air?
Frag just fragments when it detonates, whereas anti-air's got a fuse in it where it'll detonate near where it expects your target to be.
That makes sense. Yep. And as well as that, the coolest thing about this, it's such a tiny Corvette, but it has 2 times, as we'll see, kind of almost co-mounted AK-630M Sea Whizzes, which are like the big version of the NATO Sea Whiz. 30mm, 5-kilometer range, which is awesome. 2,000 rounds plus 1,000 in reserve. I'm not sure if that's per gun or not. And you can use these against close-firing aircraft or missiles, or probably even ground targets, as we'll probably see. So for such a small vessel, you've got so much firepower in there. It's like we've seen frigates with less firepower. It's a real beastie. Next, armament notes. This class was created to replace the Project 205 missile boats, NATO OSA. This would improve upon the missile and the gun systems, plus usable seaworthy hull. Small, first, and agile, these ships would defend coastlines using their guns and their anti-ship something missiles. Something warfare?
Yeah, that's anti-surface warfare. I honestly don't like the abbreviation, but that's what they're going with now.
ASOL, okay. Trivia, one of these boats sold to East Germany would be transferred to a unified Germany and then to the US. That's interesting. For the PK-10 ammo types, we've just been through that. That's all good. Images. So this, amazingly, is the SAM, the fires the Stinger, or fires the Igla or the Strela. And it just looks very simple to me. You can see it's got a little kind of gun sight thing on the front. That's quite cool. So it's literally just a kind of couple of Iglas mounted next to each other, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see there's 2 tubes right next to it. I think it's supposed to fit 4.
Okay, we're gonna have a look at our variant in a bit on DCS, but that's pretty cool. So that's that, and we've got our sources there. Anything else before we head off to DCS to have a good look around the hull, guys?
Yeah, one thing I forgot to add to the notes, the reason why it has so much anti-air is because during the Gulf War, this was like after they commissioned it, it showed that OSA boat, it couldn't really handle anything in the air at all, and this was just designed to try to get around that weakness.
Roger, yeah, we've got no long-range anti-air, but if you get close to this, you're going to get whacked, as we'll probably find out later. Okay, welcome back. We're in DCS now. Now, like I said, I used to think it's a tiddly squirt of a boat, but it's actually awesome. It looks awesome. It goes fast, and it's beautifully modelled. Really, one of the high-fidelity models. In DCS, what you'll see is that some models are, almost 20 years old. They're very old, blocky, low-detail models, and some are modern ones like this, where they're very highly detailed in terms of what you see and also how it reacts to its surroundings. So bits of it can get blown off, and it makes, it's much more intelligent model. Anyway, guys, so let's start explaining the boat. So we've got the AK-176M at front, radar-driven gun. We've seen that. That seems to be standard in most modern contemporary vessels, doesn't it? We've seen that gun in lots of different vessels. Behind the gun turret, what have we got there, chaps? I don't remember that. Whatever this is. Is this the flare thing?
That's a PK-10.
Which
I didn't have that listed in there. It's like a smaller version of PK-16.
Ah, is that the anti-submarine?
No, that's like flare and chaff again.
Right, is this flare and chaff? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they can be tilted up because there's not much use of firing them straight forward. Interesting. Okay. That we've got the bridge now. Is that there the fire control for the AK-176 right in the middle?
Yep.
And do you have the name for that again?
Bandstand.
That's the bandstand. Roger. Okay. Then we've got the massive Sunburn missiles. Now, are these type of missile guys? Are these a type of missile where we have a kind of 2-stage thing, like a little jet plane or a little rocket plane carrying a missile, or is it just one solid missile? I guess we'll see in a minute. I don't even need to ask.
It should be a standard missile, this one.
Standard 1-stage rocket, solid rocket. Okay, we'll have a look at that. Next, we go up to the antenna array. If just going to freeze it there. So that there is our nav radar. I've learnt that by now. And we've got a whole suite. We've got these spinny flats. We've got this domed guy. We've got this domed guy here and several other. Do we know what's what? Or is it just a mixed array of the... sorry, I've forgotten what the mixed array was called.
Bandstand.
It was bandstand, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the little globe on the top, I think it is. The one that's more of a cylinder shape in the front.
Yeah.
That one's the base tilt for your guns. I think the Dawn is right in front of that.
What's this then? Sorry, I thought this was the base tilt.
No, that's bandstand.
Oh god, I'm getting so confused. Right, we've got bandstand here. We've got base tilt here. And sorry, and what was this dude here?
I think that's part of bandstand. I wasn't able to find a whole lot on that one.
Roger.
However, yeah, my screen's getting a little fuzzy, but I think I know it should be there. You see like the two rounded things next to that, and then there's like two domes under that.
Roger.
Both of those are the ECM suite.
Yeah, exactly what I thought. That there looks like an ECM/RWR from what we've seen in other vessels. And yep, that looks like ECM as well from what we've seen on other vessels. I haven't seen these before, these turning arrays. Do we reckon they're for self-defense in the ECM suite?
I haven't seen those in any pictures I looked at so far.
I haven't seen them on any vessels before. It's something specific to the 90s, and most of our boats are 70s and 80s. So it's something new to us. So if you boys don't know, the internet knows what these dudes are. That would be useful.
They sort of remind me of one of the pictures I looked at for the bandstand radar, so it could be part of bandstand.
Roger, the only thing is for that, when I've seen them, they've been right at the top, up here, and they've been massive. These look very much smaller.
No, the ones on the top are, that one's top plate.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got various other antennae centers up here. We never really know what is what exactly, but let me know if anyone does know. Probably a mixture of sensors and comms. Just something interesting here. Can you see, if I zoom in here, if I can get it working, can you see that? Any idea what that means?
I do.
It's different vessels, isn't it? That's a helicopter. That's
typically,
a tanker.
with World War II vessels and such, what you would do is you would paint on the side of your ship if you got a kill on something, so that could, in theory, either be kills that this ship might have gotten, or it could have been maybe like some sort of identification thing, but I think it's stamping kills.
Yeah, Roger, I'd agree with that.
Sorry, just a bit of a correction. The big radar dome thing, it's not the bandstand. The bandstand is actually the Chinese version of it.
Roger.
It's actually the cross dome.
Thanks.
Roger, okay.
Yeah.
Is it similar? Right, they're similar things, but one's Chinese. Right,
Yes.
okay. Makes sense. Okay. Right, a lovely, like, kind of modelled walkway around here. Where's this chimney stack? It must be back here for the engines, I guess. Or maybe. Okay, so we've got, presumably, engines are around here. And we've got a weird thing there. Let me zoom on that. Does anyone know what that is?
That's probably the launcher, but they didn't fully model it.
Yeah, that's an odd thing. Very odd thing. I'm not sure what to think about that. Okay, maybe it'll have missiles added onto it when we get into actually shooting stuff. We'll have to see. Okay, now I've forgotten the name of it, but here are the primary decoy launchers, yeah?
DK-10s.
Yep, it's that. These are the little life drafty things for the crew. Massive, what are these tall dudes here? Comms check, boys.
I got you now. I just lost you for a second there.
What are these tall aerial things here? Communications?
HF probably.
Jump. Okay, and let me just swing around the back here. My favourite bit, the 2x Sea Whizzes. Absolutely awesome. So it's going to be interesting seeing them going. Anyone know what this is? I've seen this a lot, but I've never really figured out what it is.
Navigation light, maybe?
Roger. Interesting. We've got more. Are these more decoys, do we think, down here?
Yep, that one's the PK-16.
Roger. That's a real beastie, isn't it? Look at that. Okay. So there's a lot of countermeasures on this thing. That's it. Oh, now this is interesting. I didn't see anything about mine laying or anything, but it's got these kind of mine laying type things here. Anti-submarine stuff, but maybe that's surplus or something.
It could be maybe how they load the ammo, because if you notice, there's not really a whole lot of doors to open up. So that could be a hatch, I think.
Roger, noted. Okay, all in all, really well modelled. We shall have fun shooting things with it and blowing up. Anything else before we start driving the thing, guys? Okay, so let's start moving it about. First thing we have to do is select our coalition. We're going to be blue. We're going to be a game master. You can also be a tactical commander. We're going to click on our guy here. The first thing to do is show that we have our rules of engagement. We can either fire, return fire, or hold. We'll stick on fire. State, we can have green, red, or auto. So obviously if we're at red stations, then its reaction times are much quicker. We can choose its speed here in miles per hour instead of knots, which is interesting. I'm not sure why it does that. We can set its path by clicking set path. Add several waypoints by left click and then right click to confirm, and that will get him under his way. Let's just watch him go. Off he goes. Nyom. One thing to mention about using these boats in Corvette arms, they are very clunky and awkward to use. You may have to sometimes select the route several times, but they do always work in the end. So that's him on his way. Now we've got a maximum range of, I think, about 15 clicks on that main gun. The first thing we're going to do is attack a ground target. We may be out of range there, but we'll give it a try. We're going to click on this guy here. We're just going to do a single round attack to add target. I'm just going to click around here somewhere. We're going to see if we can get him to fire with his front gun. There he goes. Plenty of elevation for that shot, right at maximum range, look. Pop. And if we go and find the vehicles, that's several miles away, so that is going to take probably a few minutes for that round to actually get here. And by the time it gets here, it's probably quite inaccurate, but we'll see what happens. See if we can see that round come down anywhere. Boom! Miss! Nearly got one though. So that's how we can do just a single round. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to leave it on. What we're going to leave it on? We're going to leave it on fire, ROE. We're going to get to within range where it can detect these guys with its own, captain's eyes, and he will fire on them when he's good and ready. And we'll see what weapons he uses and stuff like that. Stand by.
Yeah, could you be a little faster? I remember reading something about a recent patch changing the wakes on the ships. I'm interested. It looks like it's a little different this time. I'm interested to see what it's like at full speed.
Still bugged by the looks of it.
Oh.
Did you see that? Bugged as fuck.
It's going in reverse.
Yeah, it does fix itself. Watch this. It's a pre-render thing, so now it's working. Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than the last one because it's like you just see the ocean spray just shooting up almost directly. And it's like
yeah,
the way it works.
So that's the improved. Wake, as you can see there. You actually see the kind of wave effects it has there. It's quite cool.
Even with the pixely camera I'm getting right now, it still looks good.
Roger. The reason it's pixely is because I'm uploading at the moment, but I have to because I'm out of time. So you guys will just have to suffer, I'm afraid.
Oh, it's cleared up.
That long thing in the middle of the ship you were asking.
The long thing in the middle.
That thing you were asking in the middle, that pole thing in the middle of the ship. That small pole just on the behind the radar the mast.
Oh yeah, what I thought was the launcher for the Strelas.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
I looked closer. Yeah, those are the Strela launchers. There is actually a crosshair if you zoom in very close.
There is, isn't there?
Yeah. So they didn't model the actual the launcher itself. But
yeah.
I think that's where they mount the manpad.
Roger.
On it.
It'll be interesting to see how that works when we get them firing at us. Okay,
But you can also see the smokestack back there now. It's like those little grills in the back right underneath it.
Yep, roger that. See that? Okay, boys, what I'm going to do is driving forward now until we get some action.
For the entire time I've been playing DCS, I've never seen the Molniya fire its anti-ship missiles before.
No, I don't think it works. It'd be interesting to see if it does work. I've never been shot at by Molniya, which is why I always thought it was crap. However, I'm always happy to be corrected. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Well, it should act like the Strela tank.
Well, it should, yeah, but I'm yet to be shot at one. I got shot down by Strela last night, so they're perfectly good missiles. I don't think I've had a single coffee mission where I haven't been shot down.
I think it's almost your 6th mission you've been shot down.
Oh!
Consecutive.
Action!
Oh, hello.
There she blows.
Look at that rate of fire.
That is a good rate of fire, isn't it? Cooling down the barrel. Fire, sir, fire. So that gun tracking. Interesting when we get the Sea Whizzes firing.
It should. I remember seeing some notes saying that they had intended for it to be used for shore shooting.
You can see can you guys see the shells in your graphics?
Yeah, very, very pixelated. But
Yeah, I can see the shells really clearly.
I could last time, so.
Yeah, it's
oh
just
yeah, I
because
can
I'm
kind of
uploading.
see him now.
Yeah. There you go, the Sea Whizzes! Whee!
Now is it one or both?
both. Yeah, both.
Oh.
Pretty sick, boys. Brrr.
You know what they should do? They should just convert those anti-ship missiles into a giant mortar.
Yeah. Brrr. Look at that. Pretty sexy, boys. It's a lot of destruction for a little boat, you know.
Yeah.
That is one wrecked shoreline.
That's the thing, it's got the same amount of firepower as a lot of the frigates. I love the ship. And you can
really
outrun
did punch
anything.
above it.
And the doctrine of their ship is that they were supposed to field like a lot of these and then just charge in before the
Think of it as Iron Hand, but on the sea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the Gatling gun. Look at what Gatling gun just did. Set the smokes off. More Gatling gun. Very cool. Here goes the Gatling gun. Look at the power of it. Unbelievable.
Land base A10 basically.
Nothing left. Pure destruction.
Sure can punch above its weight class.
Yeah, it really does.
I think I see like 2 survivors right now.
Yeah, spraying and praying with this 630. Very cool weapon. Alright boys, well we're showing what it can do against land targets and basically kill a whole city. What can it do against ships? It is a ship killing Corvette at the end of the day. Can we get it to kill a ship? The problem we've got at the moment is we've got no real contemporary Corvettes to place it against. The smallest thing we've got is a frigate on the other side, so we'll see what we can put together, and we'll next see its ability to fight. Okay, we are back in. I'm just going to spectate now. So what we've got is 1x Oliver has a Perry frigate, guided frigate. Also has harpoons, so it's a very dangerous weapon here. And to fight that, we've got 2 Molniyas. So we're going to see how they go. They'll fight each other when they can detect each other over the horizon, which is about 20-25 miles, using their over-the-horizon sensors. And to be honest, I don't particularly understand how that lot works. So let's get going. Let's follow... Well, let's just stay in map view until the firing starts. Range is now 26. They will see each other soon. They're both going to broadside each other, so it's an equal fight. Range is now 22 miles. Missiles! Going to be harpoons, I'm guessing. They are indeed. So I'm surprised the Sunburners haven't fired, but maybe they just don't have the detectability. So harpoons.
Could be that.
Very devastating weapons.
They actually have to like face the enemy to like fire their.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe the heading's not right.
Maybe, but they should figure it out then and do it. So the question is, are they going to defend themselves against those harpoons? Most ships don't. And we'll probably see these harpoons kill these Molniyas, but we'll just have to see. I've set them to red state, so they should be all prepared to fire, but... Oh, sugar, look at that. That is our Oliver Hazard Perry. Range is now... Look, it's fired... Oh, it's fired 2 on each, I imagine. 21 miles, quite a way to go, so we can speed that up. See if any sunburns come out. It doesn't look like it. I guess it's just not authorised to fire. What I might have to do is change things up just a tiddly bit and say choose slot Game Master. And why don't we say this rear one here has full permission to attack him. Let's see if he does it. It may or may not. Anyway, these babies are coming now. Come on, Sea Whizzes. Defend yourself. They never defend themselves. Defend yourself, you stupid idiot. Oh, they're so stupid. It frustrates me so much. Boom. Oh, that's one Corvette down, boys. I'm afraid to say they just don't defend themselves in DCS. It's so annoying.
Well, that's a bug with DCS I remember hearing where it won't go to red.
That's one dead Corvette, boys. I'm afraid to say. Nice damage there. Quick, hide behind the other one. Shoot it, shoot it. Oops. Shoot it! Retard. NATO bias.
4,000, 3,000, 2,000. Retard.
Retard. Oh well. Well,
that was nice.
Very disappointing. Well, technically they're still alive, but they just refuse to fight. They just refuse to attack this guy, and they refuse to defend themselves. Very annoying. It would be lovely if that was fixed at some point. But that's just the way it goes, I'm afraid. So, might as well watch these guys be finished off. They're obviously incapacitated, they can't move now, so we're just waiting for them to be polished off, basically.
I do wonder why some ships are able to pick these things up better than others, though.
I don't know. It's annoying.
It's like, it seemed like the CGs during the coffee campaign were able to somewhat defend themselves, and you get this.
I just think they're not working at the moment. They should be. They should have. They're in red state. They should know those missiles are coming. They should see those missiles pop up and at least have a pop at them. And just nothing. Very annoying. Boom! Finish that mother off. Alright, well, it turns out they're awful at attacking other ships. Right, next, boys, we're going to do some anti-air. So we're going to reset it and jump on at F-15. Okay, red F-15. I have a horrible feeling that the anti-aircraft missiles don't work on the Molniya. So we're going to go and find out. It's a PS. It's going to be a PS. Can you remind me what PS stands for? Nothing that I can remember that's relevant. So they are on the nose by 12 miles. Let's go, go, go. See if they spike us. Note how the Oliver Hazard Perry is a lot further away, much further away, several times, but on here, the radar strength is the same, showing the same. That shows how weak the radar signal is compared to the Oliver Hazard Perry signal. Or the radar. We are now right on board, right on top of it. 2 miles, and they haven't fired. So I say it, they can't fire. That's what I reckon. Pretty sure they would have shot at me by now if that was Estrella. Go around and try again.
That makes me wonder if they were able to go to red state, would they mount it?
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't they? I just don't... Something's not working with ships in DCS at the moment. Some ships just don't work. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm doing something wrong, but I've set them to red state, there's not much else I can do. They just will not defend themselves with missiles. We've seen this for several other vessels. Right, they're spiking me, so maybe they can get their 176 going or something. Okay, they've got the 630. Whoa, dodge! Super Cap. Look at all that lead. Guns jink. Oh, just dodging. see how high they can elevate, shall we? Some ships can't shoot straight up. It is a weak spot. Doesn't look like these guys can fire straight up. So it looks like the only thing they can use in DCS is the 630, which is a little bit frustrating. Let's see if I can go under the 630. That'll be interesting. Okay, I'm right from behind, so I should get a face full of lead. Jink. Jink. Alright, boys. Oh, this is gonna be ugly. No, they can definitely shoot low down. Not going for that. Ow. Painful, boys, painful. So I can go over it like this, but I can't go under it. Right, anything else you want me to test before I check out in style, boys?
I'm testing the Molniya myself right now. They do fire their anti-ship. I think that's probably like a very short minimal range.
Oh, it's a minimum range bomb, you think?
Yeah, so sorry, not minimum, maximum range. So
well, it says 250 kilometers, so it should fire right across this map. Onslaught.
I don't know. Maybe you try putting them closer. So
I know what the problem is. It's because they haven't got target information. Let me pause here. Ships need targeting information, and ones that don't have over-the-horizon radar need data link. So if I went ahead in a data link aircraft like an F-14, if I was on this side, or a flanker, and I spotted a ship, you know, with my data link at 100 kilometers or whatever, that would allow it to fire. But I don't think it has its own over-the-horizon tracking ability. Would you agree with that? I mean, that's what we've seen in the coffee campaign. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, we can test it, see if it works right now. I mean, like we've theorized on it so much, and like might as well get some solid proof.
All right, I'll go and grab a flanker in a second. Let me check out and style, boys, and get ready to get some. Get ready to get some.
In my testing, they fire at 25 miles.
Oh, that upset it. Look at that, boys. That's a killer Molniya. Alright, boys, I'm going to quickly grab a flanker then and see if we can data link some bad guys for it. Stand by. Okay, I'm going to go and find us a Oliver has a Perry. You can see our data link on the right there. In fact, that's not true. I'll turn our data link on now. Turn the data link on. You just need to turn BBR on, don't you, Onslaught? Radar.
Yeah.
Copy. Right, let's go and find us a Hazard Perry. Right, so I'm being spiked by Mr. Oliver Hazard Perry at a Ranger of 30 miles. Oh god, he's shooting at me already, boys. Well, anyone know how we zoom in and... No, it doesn't matter. He's not appearing on my data link screen, and I can see him. And my boys aren't doing anything obvious. Better beat that missile or we're going to get shot.
How do you lock up a ship?
I won't be able to use my radar to lock it up. It's just not possible.
Okay.
Stop firing at me.
Alright, Cap. I know how to get the ships.
Send.
The Molniyas need to face directly at the target, and then they only fire at a range of 28 miles and below.
Oh, that's a shame, because like I said, it should be hundreds of kilometers, so
it should.
not happy with the simulation of that. It doesn't sound, none of that sounds right, does it? Then again, it's not about the missile per se, it's about the sensors, and it obviously can't sense that vehicle beyond 28 miles. That must be the bottleneck here, mustn't it?
The other thing could be is, does the Molniya even have any data link? If it doesn't have access to a data link at all, then
maybe it's not. I mean, I know because Netsev does, because we've definitely done that, and we'll come to that at some point. But okay, so it doesn't look, unless I'm obviously doing something wrong here, it doesn't look like they're data link capable. We can fire them, but they have to be turned directly towards the target, and they have to be within 28 miles or kilometers.
There is one other possibility, but I'm kind of doubting.
Send.
I'm not sure. I know that there's a ship-to-ship data link.
Roger.
It might be maybe you have to have a carrier or something to get the data from the plane and then get that to the ship, but I'm kind of doubting it in this case.
Yeah, I've never seen any evidence of that, at least. Carriers do data link, but I've never seen them pass anything on before. No, I've never seen it change anything with having a carrier in the group. Put it that way. All right. Well, let us know your thoughts on that. Let us know if we think we're doing something wrong in using those vessels, but it just seems that they're very hamstrung at the moment for that reason. Anything you want to add to that, boys, before we sign off?
Nope.
Let's go out and start.
Kind of bummed.
Damn fly-by-wire, let me stall my jet. Haha! Beat that. Right, we hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you for the next vessel.